Hello, this is Mr. Gamid, your teacher of English. Really happy to meet you again. Sorry, I'm just meeting you in the afternoon instead of the morning. There's some circumstances. We already talked about in the previous video uh, essay writing. What is meant by an essay? We have defined what is meant. I have defined what is meant by an essay. We have seen that academically is a form of composition, which is which comprises of an introductory paragraph, three body paragraphs, and the conclusion. The purpose of an essay is that you try to, or you attempt to convince the reader of your point of view. And we have seen what are the major tips, right? That you need to write an appropriate essay among the most important tips is that you have to limit your topic. Limiting the topic, that means that you are going to focus on a given aspect, a given area in the topic. You have to limit the topic, and also you have to make sure that the topic appeals to you. Topic is of a great interest, and you have enough information on so that you can write an essay appropriately. Also, you need to outline for your essay. You need to outline, you need to jot down ideas to organize your piece of writing before you start writing your essay. So, uh, in, uh, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the different parts of essay. What do we mean by introduction? What do we mean by body paragraphs? And what do we mean by a conclusion? So today I'm gonna talk about the introductory paragraph. What is it? What's the purpose of an introduction of an essay? And what are the types of introductory paragraphs that you may rely on in order to write a in order to write an appropriate essay. Uh, a formal essay, as we have already said, a formal essay consists of introductory paragraph, body paragraphs, and concluding paragraph. So every essay, a classical essay, formal classical essay, consists of three sections. The first section is labeled the introduction or the introductory paragraph. The second section is commonly known as the body paragraphs, and the last section is the concluding paragraph. Okay. The introduction of your essay always listed the first paragraph of your essay. This is usually between 5 to 10 sentences. All right. The introductory paragraph of your essay is between 5 to 10 sentences, depending on the length of the essay that you intend to write. So, the purpose of the introductory paragraph is that it accomplishes the following purposes. So the role of your introductory paragraph is to fulfill the following purposes, which are capturing the reader's interest, giving a general topic of your essay, giving background information about your topic, and stating the main point or the thesis statement of your essay. Why capturing the reader's interest? I have already said that the essay is about to convince the reader of your point of view in your writing, in your composition writing. So you have to make sure
from the introduction, you have to convince the reader that my essay is worth reading. You have to read my essay because there are a lot of main points that you have to take into account. So the first step is writing is convincing the reader. In convincing the reader is capturing his intention, making him believe that your essay is very interesting, and he has to keep reading your essay from the introduction until the conclusion, in which you in which he might be convinced of your point of view in the essay. So one of the, let's say, that's why it is it's very difficult. It's very difficult to write an introductory paragraph of an essay, taking into account the idea of capturing the reader's interest. All right, and in order to capture the reader's interest, there are techniques to be used. There are techniques to be used in writing appropriate introductory paragraphs. Also, in the thesis statement, the thesis statement is stated in the introductory paragraph. The umbrella of the essay, the main idea of the essay should be stated in the introductory paragraph. All right? Good. So, when writing your introductory paragraph, or generally speaking, your essay, there is a given statement that you should take into account. Your essay is cyclic. Your essay is cyclic, or your research paper that you write is cyclic. What is meant by cyclic? It means that you end up your research paper or your essay from where you have already started, like this. It's cyclic, like this. It means you end up your essay from where you have already started. All right? Generally speaking, your research paper or your essay generally looks like a funnel. All right? So a funnel is wide on top and very narrow at the bottom, meaning that in writing your introduction, you start from the most general idea or ideas, then you go down until you mention the specific, and then you discuss the specific in your body sections, and then from the specific in your conclusion you go back to the general. So the conclusion paragraph is the concluding paragraph of your essay, having this when talking about the shape of your essay, meaning that it is cyclic. The conclusion paragraph is in the form of a funnel, but in a reverse way. All right, a funnel is like this. All right, it's like this. I'm talking about the introduction. The introduction, you should talk from the start talking from the general idea until you reach the specific. The specific is your thesis statement. So after the specific, it's very, very wide. Then going down, it's very, very wide. And then after discussing the specific, you need to conclude your essay. So the conclusion, from the conclusion, you go back to from the specific, you go back to the general ideas. So that's why your essay is cyclic. It means you started from the general ideas and then you end up your essay with the general ideas. All right, so you see in the figure below, in the figure in front of you, general ideas on top, and then the thesis statement at the bottom. All right, meaning that you go down from the general ideas from the general to the specific. Okay. So you see this example. All right, you see this example. There is a concluding. There is a sorry. There is an introductory paragraph, and it is illustrated how we moving from the specific to from the general to the specific. Music is truly the one universal language. Although all cultures have music, each culture develops its own music forms and styles. In particular, popular music varies from culture to culture and from generation to generation. In the past 100 years or so, there has been an explosion of popular music styles in the West. Three of the most successful styles are reggae, punk, and rap. You see, we're talking from we started talking about music in general. Music in general on top. Then we're going from the general to the specific. All right. The specific or the main idea of the essay is going to discuss or is going to describe, let's say, three most successful music styles of reggae, punk, and rap. All right. Good. So you see, that's the funnel. That's the funnel, as we see. And the thesis statement is always stated at the bottom of the introductory. The last one or two sentences in your introductory paragraph represent the main idea of the essay or the conclusion. Or the thesis statement. All right. So as I've already said, it is shaped like a funnel. I'm talking about the introductory paragraph. It is, as I said, 5 to 10 sentences long, depending on the length and size and the length of your essay, whether it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 paragraphs. All right. As I've already said, writing an introductory paragraph is the most difficult part for writing an essay for the fact that you are supposed to grasp the reader's interest or the reader's intention. All right. If you want to succeed with writing an good introductory paragraph, what you should do is you should introduce your topic clearly, as we have already seen. All right. In the previous example, our topic is about music. All right. Our topic is about music. And then we're gonna discuss the three styles, music styles in our essay. We should state the thesis clearly. So from music in general, we're gonna specify our thesis, our main idea. We're gonna restrict our main idea into only discussing or categorizing or describing the three music styles we already mentioned or we talked about. And then, of course, we should help ourselves with information about our topic. All right. If we want to succeed with writing a strong introductory paragraph, the mistakes to avoid not giving enough information or giving too much information about the topic. Means you should not say everything about your topic in the introduction, and you should avoid saying everything or saying nothing about your topic. Uh, you should avoid having no clear thesis, or avoid having you should avoid you should what you should do is what you should do also is you should have a clear a thesis statement, a clear thesis statement in your essay, and you should not talk about many topics in your introductory paragraph. You introduce the topic, then a few sentences about the topic, few information about the topic, and then you finish your introductory paragraph with one or two sentences declaring or stating what the thesis or what the main idea is. Okay. In writing an introductory paragraph, EFL learners have to accomplish two tasks. Number one, getting the reader's interest so that they will be obliged to follow reading more about the essay in the coming paragraphs, and also informing the readers what the writing, what the writing of the composition is about. All right. All right. In order to, as I've already said before, it's a hard task. It's really a hard task to write a strong introductory paragraph, so that you convince the reader of the importance of your point of view in the essay. So from the introduction, your reader gets his interest, gets the interest in order to follow writing your essay. So in order to succeed with writing a strong introductory paragraph for your essay, sorry, what you should do is, there are some of the types that you should use. There are some of the techniques that we use in order to succeed with essay writing skills, especially in writing the introductory paragraph of the essay. All right. The first technique is known as the historical review technique. All right. There are some topics that are better understood if a brief historical review of the topic is presented, and then it leads to discussion afterwards. All right. There are many topics that could be introduced by reviewing the history of the topic. You give, all right, you give, let's say, a brief historical review of the topic that you're going to write before introducing or discussing the main idea of your essay. The example below: on the eve of 1860, the word Italy described not a nation but geographical area. The peninsula was split into 8 separate states, all independent of one another. Economically, while the whole of Europe seemed to be surging ahead, Italy was lagging behind. At this time, Italy was seen as an unlikely nation because of the many obstacles that lay in the way of unification. In this essay, the writer is going to talk about the reasons which, or the reasons or the obstacles which made it difficult for Italy to achieve unification. He's telling, all right, he's going to discuss economic, political, social, and the cultural obstacles or reasons which did not make it easy for Italy to get unified as a strong and rise as a strong nation. So he started early in the previous paragraphs, in the few previous sentences, sorry, of his, in the previous sentences of his introductory paragraph, by giving a few historical review. All right. Italy was not a nation. Italy was not a nation, a strong nation. It was an area that was divided into 8 republics or 8 independent city-states, independent states. Although Europe at that remote times, or the other European countries started becoming stronger, Italy was behind. All right, Italy suffered from this division. All right, so Italy was not a nation at that remote times because of the obstacles that laid behind and made it difficult for the Italians to seek unification. All right. Good. There is another technique which is commonly used, is the anecdote technique. An anecdote is a little story that illustrates a point leading into the topic of your essay. This anecdote technique can be used, all right, but you should never, all right, when writing your introductory paragraph using this technique, make sure that the anecdote is short, all right. Do not provide full characters, plot and setting, and so on. It is also, or it can be, it is also an effective opening for your essay, which will help the reader capture the reader's interest appropriately. Let's read this short introductory paragraph and discover how it makes it interesting to the reader to follow reading your essay. The last time I had a cold. A friend suggested that instead of taking the usual cold medicines, I visited the traditional Chinese doctor in our city. Although I knew nothing about Chinese medicine, I decided to try it. When I walked into the Chinese doctor's surgery, I was amazed. It was not at all like my usual doctors. There were shelves up to the ceiling full of glass containers filled with hundreds of different dried plants and other things I couldn't identify. Could this really be a doctor's surgery? It seemed very strange to me. When I met the doctor, he explained that the Chinese medicine is thousands of years old. The plants in the jars in his office were herbs. The herbs could be mixed together to make medicines. He explained the philosophy of the Chinese medicine. The philosophy of the Chinese medicine is not the same as the philosophy of modern medicine, but it is useful for curing many health problems. In this essay, the writer is going to compare between the philosophy of Chinese medicine versus philosophy of modern medicine. So in order to attract the reader's interest, he told an anecdote that happened to him in a very short way. he visited a Chinese doctor's surgery, and when he met in his office, he was amazed with what did he find, all right? And when talking to the doctor explained to him what the philosophy of the Chinese medicine is. Okay, so this short anecdote like this will help the reader, will help the reader understand, will help the reader understand understand what the topic is about, and this makes him eager to know more about. All right. Another technique is known as the declarative or summary information technique. All right. So this technique, excuse me. So this technique is used by many writers. In writing an introductory paragraph using this technique means that you go straight on to the topic that is going to be discussed or going to be analyzed. Immigration is an emotive subject which is seldom out of the news. The recent rise in immigrants in the United Kingdom from the new European Union countries has refocused debate on this controversial issue. It is a topic which is difficult to explore because of the lack of hard data and the preponderance of anecdotal evidence. As already mentioned, immigration recently has largely consisted of Europeans, but there is also constant flow of migrants from other parts of the world, some of whom arrive seeking refuge from war or famine, and some of whom claim asylum. This essay will attempt to explore the benefits to the UK of immigration by firstly examining the economic arguments surrounding the issue, and then by looking at the social issues involved. So in the above essay, the writer intends to answer the following question: is the present level of immigration in the United Kingdom beneficial to the country? So he says what the topic is and why is it important, with introducing the difficulties in answering this major question. Also, he intends to define the terms included in the essay and gives an outline of what the essay will be about. There is also another technique commonly known as the Generalize-Focus Survey technique. This is a 6 sentences paragraph, all right? If you use this technique, remember to keep in mind that you have only 6 sentences in your introductory paragraph. So in which you categorize or you divide the sentences, each having a task. All right. So 2 sentences for the generalize, then the other 2 sentences for the focus, and the last 2 sentences for the survey. All right. The following example: many find it advantageous to purchase a home, but others find renting more suited to their needs. While there are advantages for both options, renting is generally best choice for young foreign students. Foreign students often do have good credit histories or enough money to buy a home, and need to know that it will not be necessary to find a buyer for the home if they decide to transfer to another school or return home. If we divide this introductory paragraph, So the generalized task is in the first two sentences. Many find it advantageous to purchase home, but others find renting more suited to their needs. Generally speaking, there are people who prefer buying a home, and there are other people who are more concerned with renting a home. This is generally. All right. I started with the general point of view. Then, what is the focus in my essay? Focus. While there are advantages for both options, renting is generally the best choice for young foreign students. I'm going to focus on renting. Generally, there are people who prefer to buy a home, and there are people who want or intend to or focus on intend to rent, only renting a home. In my essay, I'm going to focus on renting. So we see that we're going from the general and going down to the specific. I'm going to focus in my essay about focus on renting homes. All right. What is the survey? From generally to the focus to the survey. It means in renting, foreign students often do have good credit histories or enough money to buy a home, and need to know that it will not be necessary to find a buyer for the home if they decided to transfer to another school or return home. The focus is on renting, all right. But in renting, I'm gonna give an example. The main idea in my essay is to talk about the case of students who prefer to rent a home. And these are the reasons, all right? And these are some of the reasons I'm gonna discuss, or I'm gonna show or analyze why foreign students. The main idea of the essay tries to answer the following question: why foreign students prefer renting rather than buying a home. All right. Next, there is a strong opinion technique. All right. A strong opinion technique is let's say it's the most commonly believed opinion, or the common point of view that people agree on, that most of the people agree on. All right. A composition is, in the following example, a composition is a piece of short writing formed by a group of less than 3 paragraphs that explain or prove one idea, called the main idea, to the reader in various aspects and purposes. The main idea is expressed in the thesis statement, which gives the plan or direction of the whole composition, and the composition must be expanded or developed according to that plan. No matter what the thesis or plan of the particular composition is, all compositions consist of an introductory paragraph, supporting paragraphs, and the concluding paragraph. Strong opinion technique. It is commonly known by people that an academic composition is a piece of writing which consists of introduction, body paragraphs, and the conclusion. All right. This is one of the techniques used to grasp the reader's interest. All right. There is also another technique commonly known as the strong quotation technique. It's possible to start your introductory paragraph with a quotation. statement said, a saying said by, told or said by someone else. All right. It's really very interesting using this technique to grasp the reader's interest. As in the following example, it is more difficult to be a good listener than a good speaker, an old soul says, showing the significance of being a good listener. A question then arises about what one has to do if he wants to be a good listener. It is quite hard to find true answers to this question. However, plausible answers to such a question involve the following three thoughts. In fact, there may be more practical steps. All right. You see, the quotation is, it is more difficult to be a good listener than a good speaker. The essay is about teaching people the steps of how to be a good listener. Okay. Because being a good listener, being someone being characterized or being characterized as a good listener means that he has some wisdom. All right. Another example is the strong question technique. It's possible to start your introductory paragraph with a strong question to grasp the reader's interest. Are the people of Bangkok still smiling as they used to be in the past? To find an answer to such question, the serious problems that threaten people every day must be considered. These serious and chronic problems are traffic congestion, a polluted environment, and crime. Are the people of Bangkok still smiling as they used to be in the past? This is a question, interesting question by which we started our, let's say, we started our introductory paragraph with, in order to, let's say, grasping our readers' interest. All right. That's all for today. I decided I plan to make it short because in the next video I'll be lecturing on the thesis statement, the most important part in the essay or in the essay, and the most important part in my in writing the introductory paragraph. I'll be very glad, very happy to receive your comments, your questions, and your inquiries. Next Thursday, I'll be posting a new video lecture on the thesis statement. All right.